India has just approved one of its most ambitious aviation expansion plans in years. Not just a few new terminals, not just another airport project. We're talking about a national push to develop 100 new airports, build 200 modern helipads, and expand regional air connectivity on a scale that could reshape how millions of people move across the country. And if you're interested in how technology is reshaping global power and how rising nations like India are transforming the future, consider subscribing. This channel explores the biggest technological shifts changing the world. And this story is bigger than aviation, because when a country like India expands air access this aggressively, the impact goes far beyond flights. It affects jobs. It affects regional development. It affects tourism, emergency services, business mobility, and even the future of new technologies like electric air taxis. But above all, this is a story about national transformation, about what happens when a country of India's scale decides that connectivity is not a luxury, it is a pillar of nation building. For decades, the conversation around India was often about potential. Now, more and more, the story is about execution. And by the end of this story, there's another twist. This aviation boom could also create new opportunities for Brazilian aerospace giant Embraer, and possibly for Eve Air Mobility, Embraer's EV toll company. Which means India is no longer just expanding infrastructure for itself, it is becoming the kind of market that can shape global aerospace decisions. So the real question is not whether India is building more airports, it is whether India is building the transport backbone of its next era of national power. The plan was approved by India's Union Cabinet under a revamped version of the country's regional connectivity scheme known as UDAN. Officially, the new program will run for 10 years from fiscal year 2026-27 to 2035-36, with a total outlay of 28,840 crore rupees. The core pieces are massive. India plans to develop 100 airports from currently underserved or unserved airstrips. It will provide operating and maintenance support for regional aerodromes that struggle financially. It will also build 200 modern helipads, especially in hilly, remote, island, and aspirational districts. And on top of that, it will continue funding airlines through what's called viability gap funding, basically government support to keep regional routes alive long enough for demand to mature. That last part matters a lot, because building an airport is one thing, making sure airlines actually fly there and keep flying there is another. India's government is openly acknowledging that regional connectivity needs more than concrete. It needs a business model that works, and that is exactly what makes this plan serious. It is not just about announcing infrastructure, it is about making infrastructure usable, scalable, and nationally meaningful. This is where the story becomes more human. For millions of Indians, especially outside major metro areas, air travel has historically been limited by infrastructure, distance, and cost. That is exactly what UDAN was created to address. The original scheme, launched in 2016, was designed to make flying more affordable and connect Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. According to the Indian government, the program has already operationalized 663 routes across 95 airports, heliports, and water aerodromes, with more than 341,000 flights carrying over 16 million passengers. Officials also say the scheme improved access in remote, hilly, and island regions while supporting tourism, healthcare access, and emergency response. That means this isn't just about convenience, it's also about inclusion. In a country the size of India, faster regional air links can reduce travel times dramatically, connect smaller cities to larger economic centers, improve access to specialized hospitals, and make it easier for local businesses to reach national markets. So when the government says it wants to let the common citizen fly, that line is political, but it also reflects a real structural issue. For a country with continental scale, connectivity is development, and that is one of the most powerful parts of the Indian growth story today. The benefits of progress are no longer meant to stay in a few major metros. They are being pushed outward towards smaller cities, remote regions, and communities that for too long were harder to reach. This is not just aviation expansion, it is the democratization of mobility in one of the largest nations on Earth. India is making this bet at a time when its aviation market is already expanding fast. According to the Indian government, the number of operational airports in the country doubled from 74 in 2014 to 157 in 2024. And according to IATA, airports in India handled departures for 174.1 million passengers in 2024, with more than 136 of those flying domestically. That is a huge signal. It tells us that India is not building ahead of demand in a vacuum. It is responding to a market that is already growing and trying to prevent infrastructure from becoming a bottleneck to the very growth the country is chasing. So this expansion is not happening because India wants to look ambitious. It is happening because India already is ambitious, and the system now has to catch up with the country's momentum. Now, let's talk about jobs. The Indian government says the new scheme should boost economic growth, trade, and tourism in smaller cities, while improving the long-term viability of regional airports and airline operators. That makes sense. Airport development creates jobs in construction first. Then it creates permanent activity around operations, maintenance, logistics, retail, transport services, and tourism. Globally, aviation has a strong multiplier effect. According to ATAG, air transport supported 86.5 million jobs worldwide in 2023, including direct, indirect, induced, and tourism-related employment. Airports themselves are major employment hubs, and aviation-supported jobs are, on average, more productive than the global average. So while India has not yet released a single headline number for how many jobs this specific new plan will generate, the direction is clear. More regional aviation tends to create wider economic spillovers far beyond the airport fence. And this is why infrastructure matters so much in rising nations. It doesn't just move people, it multiplies opportunity. A new airport can help connect local talent to national markets, local producers to buyers, and local regions to the broader Indian economy. This is where the story gets especially interesting. The plan is not only about traditional airports, it also includes 200 modern helipads. Officially, the reason is to improve last-mile connectivity and emergency response in difficult terrain. But strategically, helipad expansion also helps prepare the ecosystem for new forms of aerial mobility. That includes electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, the so-called eVTOLs or air taxis. Now, India isn't saying this program is an eVTOL rollout plan. That would be an overstatement. But it is fair to say that building out more regional and vertical aviation infrastructure creates a friendlier environment for future advanced air mobility, especially in a country dealing with congestion, long travel times, and huge geographic diversity. And there's already real precedent. Eve Air Mobility has an existing partnership in India with Blade India that includes a non-binding order of up to 200 eVTOLs, plus collaboration around operations and air traffic management. That shows India is already on the radar of companies betting on the next era of urban and regional air mobility. So India is not just solving today's mobility needs, it may also be preparing itself to participate in tomorrow's aviation ecosystem. And that is exactly what ambitious countries do. They build for present demand while positioning for future leadership. And now comes the Brazil angle. As India pushes deeper into regional aviation, it will likely need more aircraft in the lower capacity segment that makes regional networks work efficiently. That directly overlaps with one of Embraer's strongest areas. In early 2026, Embraer and Adani Defense and Aerospace announced agreements tied to building a regional transport aircraft ecosystem in India. That includes a proposed final assembly line for the E-175 and broader cooperation in manufacturing, supply chain, aftermarket services, and pilot training. Embraer has also said India could require at least 500 aircraft in the 80 to 146-seat segment over the next 20 years. That doesn't mean Embraer has already secured the market, but it does mean something important. If India's regional connectivity push succeeds, Brazil is no longer just watching from the outside. A Brazilian aerospace company is already positioning itself inside the story.
And that alone says something important about India's rise. When global aerospace players start positioning around India's internal expansion, it means India is no longer just a consumer market. It is becoming a strategic center of gravity. So yes, India is building airports, but the bigger story is what those airports represent. A bet on regional integration, a bet on smaller cities, a bet on mobility as economic infrastructure, and possibly a bet on the next generation of aviation technology as well. For ordinary citizens, that could mean faster travel, more access, more opportunity, and stronger links to the rest of the country. For businesses, it could mean new markets. For the aviation industry, it could mean a major wave of demand. And for Brazil, it may open the door to a strategic aerospace partnership at exactly the right time. The real test now is execution. Can India build the infrastructure fast enough, keep routes financially viable, and turn connectivity into real development on the ground? Because if it can, this will represent something much bigger than a transport policy. It will be another sign that India is building itself at continental scale and doing it with the confidence of a country that knows where it wants to go. And that is why this story matters. Not only because more Indians may fly, but because this is what national momentum looks like when it becomes visible in steel, concrete, technology, and reach.